we have scientists who say that we are going to reach that tipping point of 1.5 degrees by 2040 at the moment on current projections. So it is different this time. There is that time pressure.
That's right. There's no comparable feat that mankind has ever achieved to what we need to do for climate change. Now, mankind is much richer today, far more knowledgeable today. We do have the digital tools that enable us to work on these things. What happened with solar panels, where they were very expensive and now they're cheap, or lithium-ion batteries, we need to do that for about 6 other technologies. Green steel, cheap hydrogen, offshore wind. And so it does require lots of money, and we have many paths of innovation. We're not just counting on one path, but we will have to see rapid innovation. It's all a matter of degrees, so to speak. That is, hitting 2.5 is better than hitting 3. Hitting 2 is better than hitting 2.5. 1.5 will be very difficult. I doubt that we'll be able to achieve that.
And how about the UK? How are we doing on climate issues? I mean, we've reduced emissions more than any other G20 country, but there are lots of things we haven't done as well. What's your outsider's view as to how well we're doing?
The UK actually is exemplary. Coal started here, and yet there's periods of time when the coal emissions in the UK are zero. Even over the years period, it's a few percent, and there's a plan to literally get that to zero. The UK has helped bootstrap some of the new technologies. So, for example, this cost for difference way of bidding out the offshore wind, that's a great capacity for the UK. And as those costs come down, that doesn't just benefit the UK, that benefits every other country. And offshore wind is going to play a big role in that much larger power generation network of the future on a global basis. I admit I was worried when they merged the climate department and the business department. I thought, okay, will climate get lost in that? In fact, the right thing happened, which is more business-oriented analytical thinking came together with people who understood the climate. And that, I think, is why the UK has made progress on this. No, the UK gets a very good grade on climate progress.
What do we say to countries like China and India who say, look, yeah, sure, our emissions overall are bigger than a countries like Britain's or even a countries like America's, but per capita, our emissions are much less. And you guys got rich by generating lots of emissions. Isn't it reasonable for us to do exactly the same?
Yes, the middle-income countries, which is where most people in the world live, over 65%. The richest middle-income country is China, the poorest is India. They are key to climate. Most of the emissions in the world come from middle-income countries. And so the rich countries have to do 2 things. We have to get rid of our own emissions, but we also, because we have the majority of all the innovation power, the great universities, the risk capital, that's in the rich countries. The innovation to reduce the cost of green products, what I call the green premium, which, say for cement, green cement costs twice as much. Green aviation fuel costs twice as much. Through innovation, the rich countries have to bring that down so dramatically that we can turn to, say, India and say, okay, yes, you're still building basic shelter for your citizens, and we can't tell you to do that at half the rate because you're buying expensive cement. We have to make that green premium either very small, like less than 10%, or actually zero. And in some cases, like electric cars, with another 10 to 15 years of progress, costs going down, charge times going down, range going up, in the space of passenger cars, we'll have a negative green premium. That is, the clean product will actually cost less if you're buying a new one, than the polluting product. And so we have to do that across the board. We cannot afford to subsidize the green premiums of the middle-income countries. That would be trillions of dollars. For the low-income countries that are about 3 or 4% of emissions, yes, it is possible that you could step up there. But we need to make it easy enough that India decides to participate. Now, India and China are closer to the equator than the UK and the US. And so actually the problems they have in terms of the water supply coming off the Himalayas, the south of India, you won't be able to work outdoors in the summer. You won't be able to farm, do construction. And so even though they have so many near-term issues, they're not as much of an advocate in this. Over time, you'll see that change as they realize, wow, they are more in trouble than the temperate zone countries.